So question, do you realize that if you have a 401k, Elon just took a piece of your savings hostage and that if he fails, so do you? Let's talk about it. Now, I don't know if you heard, but recently, Elon Musk was recently declared as the world's first trillionaire. Now, how did it happen? Also was a trillionaire, luckily past tense, but still. Well, his company SpaceX, a company that has posted steep losses every single year when you take into account the large investments into AI, just had its IPO or its initial public offering for stock to the public, for them to be able to buy it, which I believe every single index fund is legally required to purchase upon IPOing, right, the initial process. It was valued at a ludicrous $1.7 trillion, instantly becoming one of the most profitable companies on the planet at the time. Bear in mind, SpaceX disclosed it's had over $41 billion in losses since it was founded. Paul Krugman called this a human Ponzi scheme. Why should you be worried about SpaceX though? Why should the average person be worried about this IPO initial offering? Well, here's the thing. About half of all US households actually have a 401k savings account, right? Those are essentially mutual funds, right? Bear with me. Now, more than half of those use index funds like the NASDAQ or the MS500 to buy stock, which luckily, the MS500? No, index 500. The 500, S&P 500, there it is. The S&P 500 actually refused to buy the stock, so good on them, I suppose, right? Ethics or fiduciary responsibilities, because I can imagine there's a big lawsuit that might come down the road from investors where why didn't you guys refuse to buy this? But that's down the road, I suppose. Well, those index funds, whom typically make a company have to sit on the stock market for at least a year before they buy the stock, right? They wait for it to stabilize. No, they made an exception for SpaceX, because of course they did. They waived their own rules to allow SpaceX to be bought by these index funds, which helped propel SpaceX to this $1.7 trillion mark that made Elon Musk the trillionaire. And you had no say on whether or not your 401k bought the stock. It was, to quote the kids, on site. Now, why is this a problem? Well, because most of the time, IPO stocks will drop and grow in the long term, or you get your money out from the dividends. Elon just locked in his wealth into your retirement account, meaning that if he starts to bleed, he can afford it, while the common person is, to be frank, decimated. Over the last 18 months, the government has done one hell of a job propelling or propping up Musk and his company, pushing for Americans to buy Teslas, Doge cutting down any investigation that was into Musk, of which there were plenty, handing out contracts to Tesla and SpaceX damn near without competition. His $250 million bribe just made Musk the richest man on the planet by a very wide margin. As of the time of this recording, Musk just fell below a trillionaire. He's, I think, $960 billion, which is still just a ludicrous amount of money. While the SpaceX stock already begins to have a massive drop, along with retirement accounts, they're already beginning to feel the effects, which, bear in mind, since its initial IPO, it already lost $600 billion, just wiped out of existence like that. Everything in this country is more expensive, but hey guys, Musk is almost a trillionaire and the stock market is doing great, right? Fuck me, man, this administration.